Hey there YouTube, thanks for visiting my channel for a new process video. This one is called Perfect Getaway, and to begin I'm just doing some mixed media on a piece of gray cardstock. I'm just using some Heidi Swap Color Shine and the packaging technique to splatter some color on the background. I'll be scrapbooking a picture of my mom and three of her sisters. We all went on a cruise back in the spring, last spring, to Key West and Cozumel, Mexico, and it was really, really amazing. We all had such a great time, so I'm really glad to get this story documented and in my scrapbook. So I'm just using some colors that are conducive with going to the beach and the ocean, just some blues and greens, splattering there on the paper and using my heat gun to dry it. When I do this technique again, I would definitely use like some gesso to prep the paper. I think that would make it a little easier to work with. So I just mat the photo on that brown paper, and then I start to add some layers. And I really wanted to use this floral paper by Simple Stories. It has just such beautiful colors and flowers there. So I decided to use that as a layer behind the photo, as well as this green and white sort of polka dot, not really polka dot, but like a, I don't know, like a green-white pattern as a second layer behind the photo. And then I wanted to add, I was thinking about adding a vertical strip that sort of brings in the print that's in two of my aunt's dresses there. But that element actually does not end up making the page. I tried a different pattern paper, wasn't feeling it as much as I thought I would, and it was covering a good majority of the mixed media element. So I end up taking out that vertical element here shortly. And so I go ahead and commit and start gluing my layers to my photo and just getting all my layers lined up there. And thinking about using those flare badges. Don't think they make the layout, but they fit the color scheme, so I gave them a shot. This is a phrase stamp, so I just stamped a few phrases around the layout. They were phrases like, take me away, you and me, this is the life, just some phrases that sort of fit a vacation theme. And I'm looking there at some gold, shimmery, thicker phrases. I thought about favorite memory or favorite memories as a title, and then decided that I liked Perfect Getaway better. This was a really nice thicker set that I found at Tuesday Morning to get some of these vacation pictures scrapped. So I just cut those off so I could move them around my page, and I glued down the layered photo. I'm thinking about where I want the title to be. And at this point, I'm going to take a look at this chipboard set to see if there is anything I can work with there. And there was also a sticker set that I picked up at Tuesday Morning. So I decided to use this stack of luggage there on the left-hand side of the layout. Thought about using that world, but it doesn't make the layout. So decided to tuck a little gold shimmery tropical leaf behind the luggage there from that same chipboard, or I'm sorry, that same thicker set. And then just use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to lift that suitcase element a bit. So decided to try that flare badge there. It's not going to live there. I changed it to this pink one that has like a camera. And just adding some adhesive to stick down that flare. And thinking about the next element, I thought that I wanted some strips at the top and bottom of the page to kind of anchor the layout, and I'll come back to that in a bit. But first I just add this puffy phrase. It says happiness. It fit perfectly there on the suitcases. So I tuck that in there to that group. And I believe at this point I go back to the idea of a vertical element behind the picture. But again, I felt like it was covering too much of the mixed media splatter element, so I just took that out. And I'm thinking now again about using some strips at the top and the bottom of the cardstock piece to sort of anchor the entire layout. Zoom out a bit there so you can see the full layout. I was back to the idea of using that pattern piece to kind of play on the print in my aunt's dresses. And now that I look at it, I don't hate that, but that's not the strips that I end up going with. I thought I was going to, and you'll see in just a second I start gluing them down. So I glued down the bottom strip, and when I went to glue down the top, I realized that I liked the other side of the paper a lot better. So up comes that bottom strip. And of course now it has adhesive on it, so I have to cut another strip for the bottom. And I realized they're kind of wonky. I wasn't really going for straight. I like that kind of off-kilter feel to the strips at the bottom and the top there. So I just glued those down. And now I'm looking for a layering element to start working on my title. So I wanted to use this label as an anchor. And so I started placing the word Getaway. I'm just using my Tim Holtz ruler there to try and get it all lined up. And I'm actually going to move Getaway down a couple inches so that I can place the word perfect right above it, and they're all kind of clustered there on the label as the anchor in that cluster. So I thought about adding this puffy shaped parrot to the title cluster, but then I thought he would look better in his own little cluster. And these are some rub-ons that I've had for probably a year or more. And I really wanted to use that one that says "See the World," because I'm pretty sure this was the first time my mom's sisters had been out of the country. I think, I'm pretty sure. So it was really cool for them all to be able to go together. And that's my cat. Bates wants to be involved, of course. So I'm just rubbing on that "See the World" element and moving the cat. And once I get it all rubbed down onto the paper, I really like the way it looks there in the bottom left hand corner. And then I add the parrot to that cluster. And I really like him or her down there. So then I add this chipboard piece that says "Memories" and a little blue chipboard heart there to the top of that cluster. So I'm liking the way it's all coming together. I add a banner piece below the title and then decide to place these puffy shaped sunglasses there between Perfect and Getaway in the title. And just adding some dimensionals so it'll all be even. Looking at some flare badges again, put that vacay badge down there in the bottom corner, added a clip that says Paradise up to the top, another gold tropical flower behind that clip to kind of bring the gold all around the page. And then I just added some puffy hearts to that top cluster, and then I think I grabbed that puffy sheet again and added a few stars around the title and a few stars around the paradise cluster at the top and then the parrot cluster down at the bottom. I thought about taking that circular chipboard heart off and adding another puffy heart, but I like the chipboard one better, so it went back. And now I went back to those puffy shapes. Why not add more, right? And just added some stars around the cluster that has the suitcases, some puffy hearts and stars there as well. And I'm liking it. So I grabbed my Tim Holtz ruler one more time and just grabbed the pen that was nearest to me and made some sort of wonky lines for journaling. Again, I just wanted this layout to be super relaxed. I wasn't going for terribly straight. Added some journaling and then some close-ups there of the layout. And now that it's all done, I really enjoyed making this one. That's my mom in the black and white. Here's some still shots of the layout. Really enjoyed making this one and getting this memory down. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the other 2 videos that are on my channel. And I will see you guys next time.